the regulatory principles that should guide every field of life, irrespective of your life calling and your occupation. Is truth, is justice, is beauty, love, and abundance. So just as Christ, his personality is the blueprint of the entire fields of life, in the same way the heart of Christ is also the blueprint of the entire heart field of life. Now that means that those eternal principles that Christ is, they act as the foundational building blocks and pattern for all the 7 spheres of life. So if Christ is before all things, which means that he's the blueprint for all things, then the Christ principles, the Christ ideologies, the Christ philosophies is actually what God used to build everything and to run everything. Remember, Christ is eternal. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. So if God is eternal, Christ is what? Eternal. Now, and this Christ who is eternal, he is not only a who, he's not just a personality, he's what? A what. That means that the what of Christ is also what? Eternal. So these eternal principles, these eternal Christ principles are also eternal. What do I mean they are eternal? They are unchanging. They are unbending. They are binding to all men. So changing times doesn't change these principles. You don't say we are now in a modern era. What must we do with truth? We don't care about truth. No. If it was true yesterday, it is true today, it will be true tomorrow.
Wow.
So that for every generation of men, the eternal principles are unchanging for them. If the Christ principles are unbending, they are unchanging, and they are binding on all men, then it means that they are the absolute realities. What do I mean that they are absolute? It means that they are objectives. Human beings don't define them. Human beings don't create them. Human beings don't manufacture them. Societies don't make them. In epistemology, the concept is that there are 2 main ways by which men come to know the things we know. Number 1, we know the things we know by means of logic. Number 2, we know the things we know by means of sense. Then a third element comes in. We call it revelation. Revelation lies in a realm beyond sense and beyond logic. That is why, Pastor Shella, when things beat our mind, where do we go to for answers? We now begin to look for spiritual answers. Why? Because spirituality is what brings revelation.
Okay.
So it is this aspect of epistemology we have thrown away. We are thwarting it. So how do we know? So according to the Bible, how do we know the things we know? We don't begin with logic. We don't begin with sense. We begin with God. And we are so deviated that now we think that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Justice is in the hands of our lawyers and our parliamentarians. No. Our parliamentarians are only supposed to uphold the absolute standard of justice that God has set in the universe. To the degree that we deviate from the absolute objective standard of justice, it is to that degree our society will suffer. To the degree we deviate from absolute reality of beauty, it is to that degree our society will suffer. To the degree we deviate from abundance, from truth, it is to that degree human civilization, cultures, and societies will suffer. So why are our nations failing? Our nations are failing because the human beings that are there, they are deviating from the absolute reality of truth, of justice, of love, of beauty, and abundance.